I think we should start the session. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 58th APAN meeting on Generative AI in Medicine. We are honored to have distinguished experts with us today. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Simon Nisar, and today I'm the moderator of this ceremony. I'm a lecturer in School of Economics and Management in Zaventem University, Malaysia, and I will be guiding you through today's sessions. First of all, let me introduce to our chair and co-chair. Our chair for this session is Prof. Dr. Munir Gohar Babar, a distinguished professor in dental public health and currently serving as the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs at the School of Dentistry, IMU, International Medical University in Malaysia. Prof. Munir is renowned for his expertise in e-learning and has earned the title of IMU E-Learning Guru in 2015. He is also a secondary proposer for COST, European Cooperation in Science and Technology. His research interests include empathy, dental home visits, educational technology, and early childhood cares. Prof. Munir is an accomplished author with numerous peer-reviewed publications and is certified associated coach. Let me introduce to our co-chair. Our co-chair for this session is Prof. Kapil Kumar, who is currently the professor and director of Samat Prithviraj Chauhan College of Pharmacy, Uttarakhand, Technical University, India. With over 17 years of experience in research and teaching, Prof. Kapil specializes in pharmaceutics. He has published more than 105 original research articles and review in prestigious international journals. Now, let us begin with the presentations. The first presentation is, the topic is Students' Adaptability and Responsible Use of Artificial Intelligence Assisted Learning in Medical Education. For this presentation, we have a speaker today, Prof. Thoisin, University, Tunku Abdul Rahman, UNITA from Malaysia. And it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Professor Thor Zintho. Zintho is a clinical associate professor at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences from the University Tunku Abdul Rahman, UNITA. His journey in teaching medical ethics began in 2011. As a member of the Medical Education Committee, Prof has been actively involved in training programs on bioethics and medical humanities, both locally and internationally. In 2017, he began collaborating with engineers from the Faculty of Creative Industries on AI, utilizing virtual models during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prof. Thor will speak on students' adaptability and responsible use of artificial intelligence assisted learning in medical education. Prof. Thor, floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Nisa, and good evening to all. Let me first share my slide here.
Prof, your voice is not audible.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dr. Cho.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Dr. Thor, and
Is
I will
anyone
be
can
presenting.
listen to him, or is it me only who is not able to hear?
I can hear the Dr. Cho's voice.
Oh,
Okay, now
we can hear.
Yeah.
We can hear.
Okay,
We can
that's
hear.
okay. So shall I continue?
Yeah, please.
sure.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. I am Dr. Thor, and I will be presenting on behalf of my team. It is actually a team on the experiences concerning student adaptability and responsible use of artificial intelligence learning in medical education. As we are all aware that since the start of the 21st century, the structure of medical education has undergone complete revolution. Transition into information age and digital technologies has made the traditional questions and answers, teaching and assessment methods insufficient in providing the lifelong learning and the flexible workforce needed for the fourth industrial revolution. Another point that we have found is the rapid and major changes in the healthcare delivery and the demands concerning quality and competency in patient care, and this has led to a shift of outcome-based education towards a more competency-based education system. The one that focuses less on the grades and more on the growth activity. And this needs more or less a learner-centered model that requires e-learning. The following slides I will be showing is on the evolving stages of the UTAS effort and allowing the students to adapt to such changes using digital technology and artificial intelligence in planning courses, delivering lectures and activities, and continuously assessing the students' progress along the way. As you can see from here, we all started with improving the digital literacy of the students, and closing the digital gap. Then we move on to merge the teacher-centered model into a more learner-centered one. As you can see from here, we are having teaching students examining, and the problem or the limitations that we see is the availability of the cases, the number of students that you can do, and the variability in finding the different cases and the time. When we use the simulated models, as you can see from the right, we can actually receive more students. We are able to standardize the cases, and they are more available, and supervision is much easier. And this, once we started to using the virtual models, as you can see from the bottom, it becomes easier. And the students are able to plan their own activity and learning without any restrictions mentioned above. This actually enhances the teaching and learning, and it becomes very fast. But there are problems, limitations. One is the student learning style, as you can see from this figure, they are not the same. And another thing is, as you can see from the tables, that the students are more in the sort of exam-oriented mentality, such that you can see it need to be made more exam-oriented, only good for playing around, wasting time. So such a thing that they want a more or less a grade model rather than just activity. So these challenges that we found has to be changed, and this will take time. And as you can see from this learning curve, how the student adapt. In the beginning, you can see the student struggle here. In the student struggle and to cope with the changes at the start. And after that, once the student knows how to cope with the changes, they learn to apply, and their learning score, they go up. And after that, at the end, so after this, now all that we are needed here is the guidance, and for this, we use artificial intelligence in the place of lecturers. Oh, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay, so these slides shows how the students adapt to the lesson that we learn here is that we are wasting too much time teaching such that there are no place for learning and creation. One example that we can use is we find, okay, these are the teaching of ethics, which all started at home. They go to school, the university, hospital. So slowly and slowly, the patients are able to adapt to the environment. So this shows how the students also adapt here. So here at the basic one, that the beginner, the student struggles, and this is the place where they receive. After that, when they start to develop and apply, they respond. And after that, the final stage is the adaptability. And this you can see by using face-to-face learning at the bottom. And after that, here this is receiving. And after that, the non-face-to-face guided learning and the non-face-to-face unguided learning that is applying and developing. And finally, we are able to adapt towards self-directed learning. So there are problems, as we all know, with the artificial intelligence, and there are also advantages such as promote deep learning, critical thinking skills, cost-saving education, etc., etc. And these has to be adapted. Let me give you a good example of how we teach bioethics and humanities. At the start of the teaching of bioethics and humanities, we give them lectures. And after that, the students start to work in groups on case studies. And after this, they do a role play. And after that, they present their cases. And after that, there's a sort of a debate, quite a heated one, yeah. So all these, when the start of the COVID-19, they all has to stop. But it does not stop the students. They went on using digital technologies to continue with their learning and presentations. So see how they do. They start to be able to do, we don't actually need teachers. We only need to be able to give them the situation of learning, and the learner is not the vessel to be filled, but the fire to be ignited. So ignite the fire, look at the changes that you see, how they adapt. They adapt very easily and very fast. Yeah, I think about new different ways. I challenge myself, able to shift. These are all the things that the students are able to do when they are allowed to do and create on themselves. And look at how happy they are and satisfied they are. So to increase, to enhance their creativity, because they are already creative, so we enhance their creativity, brought in the students from CITC, the Center for Immersive Technology and Creativity from the engineering. They are developers, and working together in a project, they were able to develop games into their learning. See, it's a gamification level 1. And this leads to a win of the gold medal in the ICANN 2022 competition. As you can see from here, we are working in partners, we develop serious games, and the students, they are immersed into that, and we win a gold medal. And after that, we are even able to obtain our copyright. So this is how we do. Partners in learning and teaching, developers and medical, and they are doing ethics as well. Let's look at the responsibility that we receive, the responsible AI. The thing about this, they all started, the students, we allow them after the white coat ceremony, as you can see, they take a Hippocratic oath. And after the code, we have a ethics teaching, the computer ethics, the copyright, and the fair dealings. And they are able to do, after that, they are able to expose into all the projects that I already mentioned. Regarding the exam, because the students, they all want to pass the exam. So we have to do what we call the summative assessment and the formative assessment. We give more weightage to the formative assessment, 70% as compared to the 30% of the summative. So meaning that for all the activities, we give them 70%. And for the exam, final exam, we only give 30%. So the students are very happy to go. So this is what we call a hybrid assessment. We use them together, both the principles, we only give them 30%. By doing the practicing all throughout developing the project, we give them 70%. So these are the assessment methods that we use. Video, case studies, quizzes, flashcards, and tutorial slides. And all these are under what we call the artificial intelligence and games. So the outcome that we find, final outcome put in a nutshell, is that artificial intelligence enhance the teaching of bioethics by providing interactive, adaptive learning experience and real-time feedback. And bioethics in turn teaches them to be responsible. This student project allows teamwork and learning from each other, and it's not just the competency that is gained, as the traditional method is the competency. But here they are able to cope when things go wrong, and that is creative learning. So you can see the competence able to perform their duties and contextualization. They are able to respond to situations when something goes wrong, flexibility able to cope with, and finally creativity, where they are able to use all the lower levels of principles and solve problems. So this is creative learning. So the final message that I want to give is that we are wasting too much time teaching all the students. Artificial intelligence is a powerful tool. But the thing is, it is not as simple as putting a jet engine into an old car. Things has to change. And we want to teach the students, then why not? We teach them to be smart using artificial intelligence. After all, creative theory is the theory of everything. Thank you very much for my attention. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Passing back to you, Ms. Tisa.
Thank you so much for such a valuable information for all of us. And let me introduce the second speaker. We have our next speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Kim Yun Jin, an esteemed academician at the School of Traditional Chinese Medicine from Xiamen University, Malaysia. Dr. Kim holds a PhD from the Nanjing University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, where his research was supported by the National Natural Science Foundation of China. He has served as a biomedical researcher at the Seoul National University and has been recognized for his contribution to clinical medicines, neurosciences, and behaviors. Dr. Kim has been listed among Stanford University's world's top 2% scientists from 2021 to 2023. He will be discussing the PBL method in acupuncture education. Dr. Kim, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nisa, for your introduce myself. So good evening, everyone. Yeah, Malaysia is already 6:45. So today I introduce to all delegate PBL method in acupuncture education. So what is a traditional Chinese medicine? In Malaysia is quite different. Malaysia is officially namely traditional and complementary medicine because Malaysia is a multicultural country and a lot of their traditional medicine, including in Ministry of Health in Malaysia. So traditional Chinese medicine is comprehensive medical system in China, developed in China and widely practiced through the East Asia and beyond. So from the 1970th century, that in US started to research and adopted in traditional Chinese medicine from acupuncture. So it is one of integrates various therapeutic approach, including acupuncture, herbal medicine, and trainer therapy, and also medical qigong and other dietary therapy to maintain health and treat disease. But in nowadays in Malaysia is focusing the well-being. So a lot of general population visit in TCM practitioners to continue maintaining their health conditions. So well-being is more important part in Malaysia. So TCM education is quite important component of medical educational system in Malaysia. So we already adopted in Western conventional medical education in Malaysia. So we already upgraded to level 6 to the bachelor degree. And also we are follow the program standards issued by Malaysia Qualification Agency and Ministry of Higher Education. So according to the program standards criteria for the TCM education, including fundamental courses in TCM, and also Western medicine and clinical practice, etc. So why I bring up the problem-based learning this concept? Because conventional teaching in acupuncture is quite various drawback, including limited interactivity. Because in the first part in acupoints and meridian theory, all lecturers pass through their knowledge. So it's quite insufficient to student interactive with our lecturers. Only in the practical sessions will be too interactive. A lot of theoretical issues and disease management is quite limited interactive. So that's why in hidden students engagement and interactive among peers, so struggle to keep pace. So acupuncture is a major involving practice field in traditional Chinese medicine. So continuously generating new research and integrating other medical management. So we're using the implementation of problem-based learning method emerges as a crucial solution to overcome the limitation of traditional teaching techniques. So problem-based learning PBL is a students learn through the process of solving open-ended and real-world problems. So unlike conventional teaching method that focus on the lecture and rote memorization, but in the PBL is active learning for our students and collaboration and self-directory inquiry. So once a student conducted in the active learning, then turn to self-directory directed inquiry. So our lecturers does not blend it or keep inside their group. So student center is take responsibility for their own learning and work in group to explore their problem. So problem learning is like this in the right side part, how to their approach. Maybe lecturer will be issued some situations to them. Then they find any other problems in these situations. Why this situation is developed. Then they make a knowledge, either skills. Then they discuss about for the application or making the solutions. Then they finalize their overall decisions, feedback, either reflections. So PBL approach in my acupuncture education, firstly is course lecturer demonstrate acupuncture adverse events in the artificial mannequin to the students. So in this case, first, a lecturer doesn't inform to any adverse event during their hands-on session. Just only for the show that then adverse event already happened. During the small group discussion, the students under the PBL lecturers monitoring and guidance. Because we are a student, some students not familiar to group discussion, or they don't know how to conduct it in the finding the problems and how to make the solutions. So our lecturers can monitor and guidance to students and or groups. Then thirdly, the students representative from each group to demonstrate their group decisions. First is they finding the which problems. Second is how to bring up the questions and how to solving. Additionally, conducted Q&A session, unsolved problem and questions. So student will be to starting knowledgeable and understand in situation. Then there will be to identify the questions and problem. Then they continue to discuss about that, the suggestion, possible caution. Then connect questions and problem and caution. Then decide the information is needed and obtain relevant information. Then last one is apply the information. So previously, the next Prof. Chu Jing will already introduce you to in the outcome-based learning. So in the PBL also same thing. We are starting to knowledge over student will be to understanding their knowledge. Then they issue the problem and questions. They are how to solving this problem. They are how to apply for this decision into the clinical practice. So outcome, we are measure the theory examination for written and satisfaction for learning level and Q&A survey scores and also Dundee score for finalized for PBL education environment in students. So theory exam, they are quite poor, but during the PBL, student will be self-learning and self-development, they are knowledgeable. So theory examination will be more higher after PBL learning. And also satisfaction for learning level, most of the students for the satisfaction, because they will not sit on the desk, then listen to the lecturers. not in the single pathway. Student will be interaction and using the laptop and using the ChatGPT to discuss, then finding the questions and solving the problem. So student will be very interesting to conduct in this kind of medical education. So most of the students select is satisfaction for learning level. They also have questionnaire for survey score. Most of the students will be improving the knowledge and understanding, and also lecturer students interaction, because we are monitoring and the guardian to student how to finding the question and how to finding the solution. And also communication skill will be developed, and most of the students also they improve their self-learning skills. And also student will be to improve their ethics and professionalism. Yeah, because we are discussing the adverse event during the acupuncture clinical practice. Student will be follow the ethics and also consider their professionalism, become a accredited TCM practitioner in the world. And finalize, we are Dundee Ready Education Environment Score. Student academic self-perceptions and also students' perception of learning is much high score compared to others. So total Dundee score is 122, is quite high level for student, very happy to conduct PBL during the acupuncture education. So education environment score is compared to the conventional teaching is much high marks. So conclusion that PBL education starting from learning is a collaborative process anchored in student groups. So principle further state how medical students are responsible for their own personal learning while being supported by one or more lecturers. It is also emphasized that problem must be exemplary and scientific. So problem must therefore reflect conditions realistic and authentic with a medical academic field or relevant to the profession. So this study is provided evidence that PBL is more effective and satisfying teaching concept for TCM students in acupuncture education compared for conventional teaching. So findings suggest that PBL enhanced the students' their theoretical and practical skills, and also cognitive and understanding and knowledgeable overall learning experience. Implementing PBL in acupuncture education can potentially lead to better prepared and more competent TCM students in future. But here is most important, our lecturer must understand how to conduct a PBL class in your sessions. And student, what is it they're facing the problem during the PBL? Any technical issue, then how they don't know how to conduct, how to organize for this finding problem, finding the solution, and apply the information. So lecturer will be quite lot of information or friendly to use this PBL. Now it's adopted in AI technology. So student will be using the ChatGPT to catch find the questions and also solving the problem. But sometimes ChatGPT this demonstrated information is not correct. So student will be to figure out what is the wrong information, what is the right information. It is also lecturer quite tightly to understand in the using the ChatGPT, and the generated information is quite is correct or not. Okay, so thank you for it is my short briefing for this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Kim, for giving us the understanding of PBL method in acupuncture. And let me introduce the new speaker. Please welcome Dr. A.K. Azad, Senior Lecturer at the Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, Faculty of Pharmacy, University College, MAIWP International from Malaysia. Dr. Azad completed his PhD in Pharmaceutical Technology at the International Islamic University, Malaysia, and is an expert in polymers and biomaterial sciences. His work focuses on encapsulation technology, composite material, and surface technologies for targeted drug delivery. Dr. Azad will speak on the application of AI on high throughput screening in biopharmaceutical drugs manufacturing process. Dr. Azad, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. Saima Nisar, to introduce me in this well-organized conference. Is it my slide is visible?
Can you make slideshow?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now it's slideshow. Please proceed the presentation.
Just a minute. I have a... Thank you so much. Good evening from Malaysia. It's already night. I am Dr. Abul Kalam Azad. I am a senior lecturer at UCMI University in Kuala Lumpur. Actually, my area is for polymer synthesis and polymer characterization, and based on the polymer for improve the dosage form. However, we are using for AI in automatic manufacturing process for screening and the manufacturing. So briefly, the history of AI in 1941, that everyone knows that first computer have been discovered. And 1956, the AI term introduced. So after 1960, actually the AI used frequently for playing program in other purposes. So in the type of AI have two types, like weak on and strong AI is considered as type 1, and the reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-awareness is called the type 2. So you can easily detect which AI we are using. So the in pharmaceutical manufacturing, a high throughput screening considered as the application of AI in the precision medicine or discovery of biopharmaceuticals, especially like vaccine or insulin or any other lipid or protein-based medicine. We are using the high throughput screening. That technique considered as artificial intelligence. If you want to detect or screen the genes or biologics or antibodies, maybe you need 5 years or 10 years or more than that. But using the AI, maybe we can reduce our time and we can develop or we can identify our targeted antibodies or genes for the targeted treatment. So the biologics actually have a different mechanism based on the model organism or cellular or pathway or molecular level. So it's depend on you how you want to treat the disease. There are many diseases we have been treating in different based on the different models. For example, the common disease is diabetes. Some people are treating in the normal pharmaceuticals, general common pharmaceuticals, but in some way we are treating in a biopharmaceuticals like insulin. So in the same way, there are many medicines like for the cancer treatment. Now we have developed the metrics or the systems that can detect the types of cancer and the treatment at the same time. That's we call the nanotheranostics is recently developed. So in that specific or precise medicines, we need to use the AI because if we do in the traditional way, it will consume a lot of times and the manpower and as well as the cost will be very high. So using the AI, actually we can use the minimum amount of sample. However, in traditional way, you need a high volume or high amount of samples or materials. So we can save our materials, our samples as well. Usually in biologics, you cannot collect a lot of samples to run for specific test. So in this case, for biologics, we can detect something or we can test some parameters in a very minimum amounts of the sample. So in this era, we are focusing or we are going to focus or develop the biologics. So one day maybe we will not see any common or traditional medicine because the biologics based treatment are more precise and it will be definitely cost effective as well because in traditional way the general pharmaceuticals you may have to continue for a long time but when you will take the biologics maybe in the genetics level or in the cellular level or in the molecular level it will cure or permanently recover from the original state. So it will revert to your normal condition from the pathology condition. So a connected approach to pharma, for example, the genetic and genomic data. So to develop a precise medicine, we need to know the genetic or inherited habit or factors. So AI, using the AI, usually we can acquire the genetic data using the AI. So this called the target validation. So the patient genetics, because genetic usually it will depend on a specific area or a specific race or specific nations. So is different types of people have different genetics features. So we need to valid or we need to specify the genetic factors. After that, the sensors or smart device. So in this way, sensors and smart devices between this time called the discovery stage. So in the discovery stage have a discovery preclinical or clinical. So in the clinical, if you see these figures, is actually connected from each and every steps. So in interactive media or commercial production in a healthcare sector, also you need to collect the data from the original source called the location where you want to implement your medicine. And to make it in an average, that's why you cannot say that your medicine is 100% effective for all the races or all the areas. And because of this, we have the different formulations and and different therapeutic efficacy. The percentage of therapeutic efficacy is different. But if you compare to the common pharmaceuticals, biopharmaceuticals have more therapeutic efficacy than others. So AI in pharmaceutical industry is a fuzzy logic, especially useful in describing target proteins for optimization or process control. So how AI using in process control? I think everybody knows that the robotic system. If you consider in a simple instrument like a, UV machine, UV instrument, it's also using the AI, right? So it's use the algorithm that can detect from your sample into your targeted, or can find the original concentration in a specific solution. But in biopharmaceuticals, using the algorithm to identify the genetic features. This is the difference in AI using the biopharmaceuticals. But in general, pharmaceuticals also have been used the AI. So to predict the drug resistance, now the current concern is bacterial resistance. So in a specific bacterial medicine, you can usually detect that how this bacteria is resistant to a specific people. So based on that, maybe you can treat the patient. So medication adherence and alternative indications identification. So in patient-based factors also you can identify. Failure analysis, if there is any failure to analyze the disease, also you can detect through the AI. Clinical trial research, instead of to do the clinical trial in a real human or animal, before that you can actually do the trial in the in silico model, or using the AI, right? So epidemic outbreak prediction, also you can predict the epidemic of any specific infectious disease or whatever. So the prediction of the outbreak of the disease you can predict. Then personalizing the treatment and in silico medicine, that is the main perspective or purpose of the use of AI in our university research lab. So here is the different companies or pharmaceutical industries who are developing the biopharmaceutical based molecules like Novartis, Merck, GSK. Uh, so the primary goal of the high throughput screening is to identify through compound library screenings. So through the library, you can target the candidates to discover the lead molecules that we call the hits. So this screening, through this screening, you can predict, or you can target the molecules to develop the medicine later on. So using using this technique, we are using the liquid handling device, robotics, or plate readers. Usually, you can see the in cell line study, we are using the microplate readers as a detector of the based on the wavelength, or however color, you can use the robotic system in microplate readers to detect the cell viability or the concentration of your targeted samples. So linkage of critical quality attributes. If you work in a artificial intelligence for drug discovery, I may know you know very well this term, CQA and QBD, right? So actually CQA for the product with the process parameters, and ultimately to identify of both critical process parameters and the key process parameters. If you see here, want to text also the employees literature plus multimodal database for target identification. So they have used AI to identify the target population or the targeted genes or biomolecules. They have used the artificial intelligence. If you see here the in drug discovery, first we have the in vivo assay or either in vitro assay. So if you go for in vivo, definitely you have to use the animal. But the people we are discouraging to reduce the use of animal. So better to use the in vitro assay. So in the in vitro assay have cell-based assay and biochemical-based assay. So cell-based also we are using the AI, artificial intelligence, and biochemical assay also we are using the artificial intelligence very commonly.
Excuse me, Dr. Azad, you have to finish your presentation because we are
Thank
running
you.
out of time. Thank you.
So in the QBT process, actually quality by design, we can use a lot of things to discover in biotechnology and biopharmaceuticals. So I will not just read out this. If you see the process for the biopharmaceuticals or any pharmaceuticals using AI, these all the steps that we can see here can overcome in a month or in a days even through the artificial intelligence. However, if you go to do it in traditional way, it will take 0 to 10 to 20 years, or after that maybe you will be failed. But in artificial intelligence, you can go through at the end until a human study that it will be fail or not, you can detect. So you can save or you can save from the failure. So in the artificial intelligence, you can save the personnel, you can save the time, and you can reduce your manufacturing cost because it is automation. So if you see here, this is the in vitro test that we are using fluorescence, luminescent, colorimetry, and light scattering assay.
Excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry, but you have to conclude your slides because we have a very short time. You know that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Just give me
you.
5 minutes.
I think 5 minutes will be very difficult. If you conclude your slides in 1 minute, that would be great.
Okay.
We're already 2 minutes late.
Okay, thank you. So in this summary or conclusion, I can say that artificial intelligence is obvious and very common, and it must be used for biopharmaceuticals. The good example using the artificial intelligence during the COVID-19 to discover the vaccine. So here you can see a lot of approach using the AI to develop a biopharmaceutics. So here are some pharmaceuticals that are continuously approaching AI in biopharmaceuticals. Yeah, I have finished. This just for some. Uh, Based on this, I can say that we have recently published a few papers using the AI that we published in Computers in Biology and Medicine, and the Experimental Pharmacology and Drug Discovery is Frontiers in Pharmacology, and is a really a good, very good response that we got more than 10 citations within 3 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Azad. Sorry to interrupt you multiple times but we have other speakers, so we need to manage the time. Thank you so much. So without any delay, our next speaker is Prof. Anthony Royce Marin from St. Dominic College of Asia. Prof. Marin will explore the potential use of ChatGPT in pharmacy education practice in the Philippines. His insight will be invaluable for understanding how AI tools like ChatGPT can enhance educational practices in pharmacy. Dr. Anthony, floor is yours.
Professor Anthony, I can see your slide, but I cannot hear you. Can you turn on your mic?
Yeah, same here.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, now.
Uh, am I visible or not, please? Yeah, okay, now it's okay. Um, so I think good evening, Philippines. Good evening, Manila. Thank you so much, Dr. Nisar. Thank you for the invitation for the 50th Asia Pacific um, conference. And with this, really, I really appreciate the organizer of this event, and especially for the distinguished speakers from different part of the world. And my name is Anthony Rios Marin. I am the program chair of the St. Dominic College of Asia for the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. And for me, I was assigned to discuss the potential use of the chat GPT in pharmacy education practice in the Philippines. It will be very easy because I know that the AI trend this time, it's, I would say, enormous. And one of that factor, it is only the chat GPT. And how the pharmacy education in the Philippines cope up with this kind of artificial intelligence. Okay, so I will start first with the pharmacy education. As we all know that the pharmacy education here in the Philippines was approved by the Commission on Higher Education, and also under that with the Philippine Association of the Colleges of Pharmacy. That association actually it's the that completes or it complies the requirements of all the pharmacy university and schools and university in the Philippines. And that is also guided by the Philippine Pharmacist Association. And that is why we have that collaborative, we have the different outcomes, especially meetings with different about the topics, about the program of the BS of Pharmacy. And so I will go to the first one that really concerns about it's on how to apply regarding the chat GPT concerns in the subject or the BS of pharmacy curriculum. And I think it will be easy for us to discuss, especially I discussed this with the faculty, for them to be able to understand what is that uh, easy way to deal with the chat GPT per subject and in the course. So we have that Center for Drug Discovery and Research and Innovation, and then also the Center for the Herbal and Drug Development, and the Clinical and Pharmacology, and also the Quality Management and Medicine. So for the drug, for the herbal and drug development, so that covers the pharmaceutical botany and then the pharmacognosy. It means that in that lectures and then in the laboratory, the students already have the chance, not the chance, but they are using already the chat GPT in the different type of the experiments, the results, the studies, the activities, even for a simple project. So, and also in the drug discovery research, most especially because this is very important for us, the pharmacists, that we innovate drug. That is why um, it is really a challenge for the faculty on how to deal with the different of that chat GPT that we'll incorporate in that subject. Okay, so the drug discovery research, so the student must have to have the idea about the pharmaceutical biochemistry and the medicinal chemistry, and as well as the clinical and pharmacology, which of course now it's very broad that you have the biopharmaceutics and also the pharmacokinetics and toxicology. And also the Center for Quality and Management of the Medicine that covers the manufacturing, pharmacy, and quality control. And So I already discussed how the pharmacy education and then the curriculum. Now let's proceed with the pharmacy and the students. In the pharmacy education and the students, the advantage of this one, especially in the ChatGPT, this will be, I would say, as a faculty, we have to develop them. We have to tell them the complex of the subjects. So for them to be able to learn regarding the different interactive tools and also the skills, that is the skills that we want them to enhance, especially of course here in the Philippines, that we have that mostly work in the community pharmacy. So it's very important that they have that skill in patient counseling that really covers different kind of subjects in pharmacy. And same as well also in the public health pharmacy profession, education. With the public health pharmacy education, they have different cases are in the Philippines, especially that provides the explanations, different cases, different diseases in the community. So on how to deal with the patient and how to deal with um, um, the mother, the not the patient, but the simple mother, the simple children, and then the simple person that is deals with different diseases, and then on how you as students will explain that the problem. So that's why it is our responsibility. It is the responsibility of the faculty on how to improve that skills. And now, what will be the pros and cons of the Chat GPT, of using the Chat GPT? So it's very simple. Of course, that will be the risk of plagiarism. So even at the simple research and discovery, research of the drug, or even the thesis writing. So there's always a risk of the plagiarism. That is why it is a responsibility of the faculty on how to deal with it. Of course, there will be a Turnitin, there will be a checker, a plagiarism checker, to make sure that the students will be guided with that kind of risk. And also you have to inform them regarding the copyright issues, the risk of the academic dishonesty. Um, I think it's simple to think about how the students treated and how to have that dishonesty, why it happens in the simple classroom. It is because of the faculty. Why? They must have to have that orientation from the first time, and of course they have to deal with it, and it'd be easy for them to understand what will be that dishonesty from the first time, from the first year that they'll have to enter in the college, and also the way that they have to write the different studies, the journals, the thesis, and the different type of activity in the pharmacy. And another one is the lack of personal and emotional interaction. So we all know that this is using the Chat GPT. It's like you're just only giving them the command, but lack of the personal and the emotional interaction, because just only command the GPT what they're going to do. So it's like a body. It's like I would say a comrade to as a student, so that will be guided with some in a positive way. Okay, and and next one is the Chat GPT and the pharmacy, the students. As you can see, I just only give the example here, the application of the Chat GPT in a simple way for them to inform the students on what will be the use, the important use of the Chat GPT as a student. So I will just only give you the example, and this to make it easy, that like for example, the drug discovery and then the research. So as you can see, for the Chat GPT, there will be a use of the virtual screening, accelerating the lead optimization, and predicting the drug target and toxicity. So that covers the drug discovery and the research. And the second one is the pharmaceutical skills and communications. So this will help the pharmacy students facilitating the interdisciplinary collaboration. Like, for example, talking with patients, talking with the other healthcare profession, and also the other students under the healthcare, and enabling them with the efficient literature review and assisting the clinical decision making. So, and the last one is the clinical pharmacy and pharmacology. As you can see, they will have the idea, they will have the knowledge in the personalized treatment recommendation, and that is the skills for the students. And also they will have the idea about the disease management and the patient education, and for them to be able and to intervene. There will be an application or an intervention of the disease. So that is an only simple this example of the ChatGPT and the importance of ChatGPT in as a pharmacy students. And here, what will be I would say the challenges of the ChatGPT as a faculty and as students. As you can see, that for the students, at least they will have the idea about the accuracy, the data pollution issues, the ethical and safety concern. And also for the faculty, this is the challenges that lack of guidelines. I'm sorry, the lack of guidelines in the pharmacy education. So I think this also only applies at different schools, but there would be a guidelines, that is general guidelines regarding the use of the ChatGPT in the pharmacy education. And another one, it's the lack of consistency and across the faculty. That is why there are some faculty that they are explaining about the ChatGPT, but some didn't allow it. And the last one is the AI detection tools. So I know that will be a lot of challenges that we're going to encounter in the ChatGPT. So in this world, I would say that we really have to accept the challenges, and that's the only thing that we can inform our students, and also to help them and to guide them the best way that we can. Okay, so I think that will be for now, and thank you very much, and I hope that will be help to one another. Have a nice day and good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Anthony. It was a really good topic. As I read a mission, I can totally understand, and I think it's a very important topic to discuss, especially in academics. Yeah, so now next move on to our next speaker, Prof. Dr. Saida Khanam from Pakistan National University of Science and Technology, NUST. And also she is the one and only female speaker of our session today. So Prof. Khanam's research focus on the transformative role of AI in education, addressing both the challenges and possibilities. Today, she will be speaking on AI transforming education, challenges, possibilities, and innovation. Prof. Khanam, the floor is yours.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
And my slides are visible to everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yes, now it's very good.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak about artificial intelligence and its role in education transformation, challenges, possibilities, and innovation. So my background is of psychology. And as a behavioral scientist, as a psychologist, I would like to share thoughts regarding artificial intelligence role in education. What are the particular possibilities in terms of positives, and what are the challenges, and what is the way forward? So moving on, I would really commend all the speakers that have already spoken about artificial intelligence and its role in education particularly. So significance of artificial intelligence in education is quite evident with the ChatGPT and AI and different versions of AI. So we got to know that, we can take a lot of advantages in education. However, these advantages are also posing certain challenges or problems, and for which we as an educators or as a learners need to understand what's going on and how we can, deal with those things. So one particular aspect of that is about, excuse me, sorry. Education in the era of emerging technologies have become quite challenging, since education from traditional mode of learning is being transformed into more advanced, rather I would say asynchronous, synchronous mode of learning in West particularly. Although in Asia, I am not speaking on behalf of all the countries, but particularly in Pakistan at least, we are still, using particularly traditional methods and trying to blend AI. However, AI-powered education and learning need to be understood by us as an academician and learners. Since we don't know what is AI, how can we use it? What are the pros and cons? So maybe we need to learn first AI-powered education. What does it mean? How it can, transform our learning. Then Dr. Thawazin already spoke about assessment and certain aspect in pharmacy, and Dr. Anthony as well covered. So I would not go into the repetitive or the, those things, but we know that, our assessment systems, our learning can be made adaptive. And we can use AI-powered intelligence tutoring systems. And we can also use it intelligently in such a way that all those strata of society who are, I would say, less developed or have challenges regarding those access or those powered system or knowledge about those systems, we can address those inequalities through this AI-powered educational system. And are we ready for that? So that's a huge question mark. Readiness for after COVID, we got to know, and the whole system as an education system unfolded, whether there are access issues, whether there are readiness issues, learner, teachers, everybody was being perplexed how to deal with that. So I think we need to understand from AI perspective whether it's going to be transformed particularly positively. So according to the FARB survey, there are particular concerns that have been shared by teachers of AI use in education, which include plagiarism, reduced human interaction in learning, data privacy and security, job displacement for teachers, unequal access to AI-powered resources, automation of manual tasks, and others. So with this particular one instance, I just want to underscore the importance of those challenges as well. Side by side, we need to also understand whether we are developing critical thinking of students, whether we are compromising those aspects which are only learned or inculcated when student or the learner go through the human interaction, whether creativity is being enhanced or it is going down, bias and misinformation. What are there any filters, and how can I, or as a teacher or a learner, can go through that process? What about data security and ethics of using any data, any component, picture, image, or content? So there is a huge question of ethics around that. And are we going to be dependent on AI, or whether we are going to use it intelligently in such a way that we are going to empower those who are struggling, or we are going to enhance those areas which are lacking? Then there is a technological and digital divide across different countries and nations, and particularly within country. I would say, let's take example of Pakistan. Last week, Planning Commission has published a report in which learning of students is compromised across the Pakistan, and only Punjab or few district or capital Islamabad was green in color. So these are the question marks that we need to learn those lessons. And with the AI and with the further, going on, moving on and catching up with the world, we need to understand whether we are lacking and how we are going to use those technological and digital systems for further betterment of our educational system. And then future world of work. Employees are Is AI going to, replace them? For example, teacher, learners, and what are the strategies to around that in order to handle those thoughts? So these are the problems, but however, there are positives and possibilities looking forward. We have already talked about in pharmacy, in other areas, that there are many, many issues for use of AI, but it's a debate going on around the world, and we can use, but with the I would say mindful and conscious thought, whether AI is going to be empowering for the human development in the longer run. So particularly around the globe, SDGs and all those areas of SDGs, can AI have immediate and long-term impact for achieving those goals? And what can be done for those particular areas? These are open questions. Educational landscape can be transformed through, this system, but AI system, but can we devise those rules, laws, regulations, management systems where we can take into account all those areas which I already put in the bracket of problems? And capacity building of teachers, capacity building of students regarding AI, what it is, how you can use it intelligently, and inclusion, either it's a gender, either it's a race, particular culture, particular geographical location or language. If there are people with special needs, if there are problems around that, how are we going to keep it more inclusive so that we can, enhance our learning and I would say innovative education? Diversity, can we take into account our, while in transformation of educational system through AI, can diversity be it's more relevant to inclusion as well? Can diversity be taken into account and we can enrich our cultural, our learning and our cognition and intelligence, human intelligence across the board? Then post-COVID world and AI, it have been immensely useful for people across the board, but also posing certain challenges. So we can use AI very positively in health and mental health, telemedicine, tele-counseling. There are certain even areas in Pakistan in which people cannot pay the fee or go to the certain counselors, but they can take advantage of AI, or if there are certain systems through which mental health can, or health systems can be adapted so that information, certain kind of diagnosis or things like that can be shared, that would be wonderful. Then empowerment of future innovations. AI can be phenomenal in devising those innovative solutions for problems that are either global or local problems. But for that matter, we need to, what should I say? First of all, understand what are we going to do across the board as a nation or across nations, and how it is going to affect our future. And the last one is management of global and local challenges across the globe. Under the umbrella of SDGs, there are local and global challenges that are, affecting humanity and other species as well. So can AI be used in such a manner that, we can take into account all species and we can be more global in thinking and understand for the betterment of the humanity and all the other even animals? So thank you so much. These were the, for some thoughts regarding as an educationist, as a psychologist, and thank you. I would be happy to answer any question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. And next we have Prof. Dr. Mohammad Mozam Faraz, who is the founding head of the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science at the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, NUST. Prof. Faraz research focus on applying AI to healthcare, precision agriculture, and video analytics. He holds the prestigious position of the Islamic World Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, ICESCO, Chair of Data Science and Analytics for Business, appointed by ICSCO. Prof. Faraz will discuss, can AI see what orthodontists miss? the quest for advancing orthodontics diagnosed with AI-powered cephalometric landmark detection. But today, Mohammad Anwar Khalid from A University Islamabad will be presenting on behalf of Dr. Mohammad Mosfa. Mr. Mohammad Anwar, the floor is yours.
Am I audible and my slides are visible?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima, for introducing me to the conference chair, to the session chairs, co-chairs, and the distinguished speakers. From the fresh air of Islamabad, I welcome all the speakers, and I also am very grateful to Asia Pacific Advanced Networking 58 APAN for giving me the opportunity to present our research. So I'll keep the streak go on with one of the project in our research lab, that is how we can advance the orthodontic diagnosis with AI-powered cephalometric landmark detection. Myself, Mohammad Anwar Khalid, and I am the lead data scientist and AI practitioner in Machine Vision and Intelligence Systems Lab in NUST, Islamabad, Pakistan. So first, I will go through what cephalometric analysis is and how cephalometric analysis plays a role in cephalometric landmark detection, which in result helps orthodontists and medical practitioners to plan orthodontic and dentic surgeries. Later on, I will also explore the fabric of a new state-of-the-art data set that is referred to as ARIS and is solely developed by our research lab. Later on, I will also discuss a challenge that we organized in one of the top-notch conferences of medical imaging, that is IEEE International Symposium on Biomedical Imaging in 2023. I'll conclude my topic giving some of the future perspectives in this domain. So let's get started with cephalometric analysis, which is a crucial examination or which plays an important role in planning dental surgeries. And it is usually done on 2D X-ray images, which you can see on your right side. And that X-ray images are referred to as cephalograms, or sometimes we call it cephalometric X-ray radiographs. What orthodontists or the dentists used to do is they identify some key locations that is referred to as landmarks, cephalometric landmarks or anatomical key points. So once the landmarks are identified, various landmarks are joined using some lines, and the intersecting lines have some angles, and based on that angles, they assess the bone tissue relationship of a patient and plan the surgeries and the dental procedures accordingly. Of course, let's see if this is X-ray image. As I mentioned, it's an X-ray image and it is referred to as cephalogram. And the orthodontists or the dentists have to identify some key locations, which you can see over your left side in terms of some red points. So these are referred to as cephalometric landmarks. But this is the objective to plan the surgeries, but this is not what is done right away. So a dentist first has to trace the bony structure over the cephalogram, and then based on and then identifying the key landmarks, joining them, and then measuring the angles between that lines, the intersecting lines. The orthodontist can have an idea about the deformities. So of course, if the orthodontists are going to do it manually, it will be a time-consuming job, and there are some inconsistencies or intra-observer variabilities. So what we can do is to replace manual work with an automated system, such that the automated system can not only accurately identify the landmarks, not only accurately but consistently, and with less amount of time. Because right now, on the average time that a dentist needs to trace a cephalogram and identify all the key points is 30 to 35 minutes. So if we replace it with an automated system, we can save that time, and the automated system will also uh, um, uh, cover up the inconsistencies or variabilities. And the automated system can be evaluated with mean radial errors and successful detection rates. Uh, to facilitate the development of automated systems, we had a data set that was a previous benchmark and is published in 2015 in the same conference as a challenge. The dataset holds 400 cephalograms, and all the cephalograms are required from a single X-ray imaging device with a single resolution, and the labelers annotated each cephalogram with 19 landmarks. This particular data set facilitate the researchers to propose various solutions to automate the process. And we have two schools of thoughts. One is coordinate regression and the second is heat map regression. And based on that, there are some approaches in which they have used a single CNN architecture. Some of them use multi-stage cascaded CNNs in cores to find detection strategies. In the recent years, we have a shift towards transformers and graph convolutional neural networks. But of course, with all these, we have generalization challenges. The models struggle with cephalograms from diverse imaging sources. Later on, the images are like of in the previous benchmark is of same spatial dimensions. So the model struggle if the dimensions are changed. Moreover, the data set that is the previous benchmark also only holds images from just one single imaging device with a single resolution. So there is no diversity there in the data set. So if I just to summarize, or what is particularly the objective of a cephalometric landmark. So this is what I will do. For example, if we have an image of spatial dimensions of height, width, and 3 channels, and what we have to do is we have to predict that landmarks of with 2 coordinate system, and that is that it can be that can be assumed as a mapping function, which will take a X-ray image X and will map that X-ray image to a landmark domain that is of K into 2 because of K as a landmark. So we approached this problem and proposed a 2-stage detection framework, in which the first stage predicts simultaneously all the landmarks, and based on that landmarks, we just have a semantic fusion block in which we inculcated global features into local characteristic geometrical features. We fuse them and then we refine the initial estimates of the landmarks. But of course, these are the results that our framework achieve. So we almost secure 87.17% of the successful detection rate in 2 millimeters. And that's the highest at the time when we are proposing it. Still, it is the highest one. Later on, we also have a good or comparative mean radial errors on both of the test sets, and that is based and that is over the already benchmark data set. But of course, we want to check the generalizability of our framework. So what we did is we also proposed another data set, that is the new state-of-the-art data set, the new benchmark data set for cephalometric landmark detection, as well as the CVM stage classification. So with this data set, we actually acquired 1,000 cephalograms, and the cephalograms are required from 7 different X-ray imaging devices with varying resolutions. So we added the diversity. We annotated the cephalograms not only for 19 landmarks, but for 29 anatomical landmarks with 15 skeletal, 8 dental, and for the very first time, 6 soft tissue landmarks as well. A team of clinicians comprises of 6 medical orthodontics annotated the dataset into 2 phases. The first phase is labeling phase, and the second one is the reviewing phase. And as expert orthodontists labeled the CVM stage as well, and that makes our dataset the very first benchmark in the domain of cervical vertebral maturation stage estimation. Here is a comparison of our dataset with other existing datasets. So our dataset stands out with 1,000 cephalograms, 29 landmarks, 7 different X-ray imaging devices publicly available, and yes, also annotated with CVM stage classification estimate. Here is a sample image, the annotated landmarks and a traced cephalogram on the right side from our dataset. Since we proposed our framework, we assess the framework over a locally built and new state-of-the-art dataset. It's the right time to take our dataset and the baseline that we propose to the international research community. So what we did is we organized a challenge in, again, the prestigious conference IEEE ISBE in 2023 with titled as CIFA 29 Automatic Cephalometric Landmark Detection Challenge. There are 2 tasks for the...
sorry for the time duration because we have to conclude. So please, is it okay if you can conclude right now?
Yeah.
We have very short time. Please. Thank you so much.
Okay, so challenge holds 2 different tasks. The first one is cephalometric landmark detection, and the second one is CVM stage classification. Almost 29 participants from the globe participated in the challenge. And in future perspectives, we have a new state-of-the-art. We have to include MRIs and CT scans. That's a new fabric to explore. Multimodal and foundational models are there. And we need to inculcate the medical reports. We can do that as well. So with that, I just conclude my topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry, we don't have much time. We left only 4 minutes.
No issues.
And due to time constraint, our next speaker, Dr. Mohammad Shahzad Aslam, Assistant Professor at School of Traditional Chinese Medicine from Jammu University, Malaysia, was not able to present his presentation, but let me give a small introduction. Dr. Shahzad has been a top peer reviewer since 2017 and has significant expertise in complementary and alternative medicine, as well as public health. He will share, he need to share, but right now we don't have a time. So I'm so sorry, but his topic was artificial intelligence application using ChatGPT in education, case studies, and practice. But due to time constraint, I would like to conclude our session. I would like to invite our chair, Prof. Dr. Munir Gohar Babar from International Medical University of this meeting to deliver the closing remarks. Sir, this is over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Saima. I think in conclusion, I would just say that this 58th meeting and especially this session has highlighted the transformative role of generative AI in medicine, education, dentistry, pharmacy, showcasing practical aspects, application, ethical considerations. So, and our distinguished speakers have provided valuable insight, amazing website and into how AI enhanced learning, revolutionizing the drug manufacturing, improving diagnostic accuracy, and enhancing educational impacts. So as we move forward, it is crucial to continue fostering collaboration, which is very important. That's why we are all here, sharing knowledge, what we have just shared, and addressing challenges, because this is a very new field and there are a lot of challenges. So the AI potential in advancing healthcare and education, let us use these insights gained here to innovate responsibly and shape the future where AI is effectively integrated into our professional practices And with that, I want to thank you, all of you, for the amazing presentation and knowledge sharing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And for the last minute, I would like Co-Chair Prof. Dr. Kamil Sharma to please give your last thought for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saima. Good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer, especially to Dr. Saima to invite me this event. It was, I think, very really impressive session, and I got the opportunity to learn so many things from different professors and the speakers. And I hope this was fruitful for all the participants that were present in this event. In brief, I would like to say Professor Thoughts on the topic, strengths, adaptability, and response use of artificial intelligence, assisted learning in medical education, was really knowledge provided. He informed how the artificial intelligence can be used for the betterment of the medical education. Next one is Dr. Kim Yoon Jin mentioned the BPL method in acupuncture education. He mentioned the different step for the PBL. It was really an excellent presentation, an excellent session. Next speaker, Dr. A.K. Azhar, mentioned application of AI on high throughput screening of biopharmaceutical drug manufacturing process. I know him personally, and he's a very dynamic researcher. His session was very fantastic and was knowledge providing. Professor Anthony Rios Marin mentioned potential use of ChatGPT in pharmacy education practice in the Philippines. And next was this Dr. Saida Khano mentioned challenges, possibilities, and innovation regarding AI transformation in education. It was really quite impressive. And in the true sense, this session was very fruitful, and I conclude my remarks here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the speakers, the organizer, specifically Dr. Muhammad Shahzad Aslam, to sacrifice his presentation for everybody else. We really appreciate your help. And for that, we should conclude our meeting. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Shahzad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Goodbye,
you, everybody,
everyone.
for all everybody for
Thank you.
joining this event. I
Thank you
really
very much.
appreciate. I wish I have time to present. In fact, the presentation was included in my book on ChatGPT in education, which me and the MC, who is Dr. Simon Isar, is a co-author actually. We both write down the book on the ChatGPT and its impact on medical education, and we did some research on some of the aspects and suggest some strategies that how to cope with the plagiarism and other issues like BYP, bring your own papers and other issues. I wish I could have time, and I really appreciate everyone, the organizers, the TMDCs, the technical staff, the staff in Islamabad, APAN 58, all everybody, and all speakers, chair and obviously we don't forget chair and co-chair who help us during the whole time and give us the valuable comments. Thank you so much, and I wish everyone best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you so
Shahzad.
much.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Good
much,
night.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Good night.